Ha! After a great dinner, Edgerton's Travelers now getting ready for tonight's 8 o'clock show, Mark Twain. Let's look in the theater.
I sat next to one of the ugliest women I've ever seen. Her face looked like a crack in a dried lemon. I wanted to tell her that her face would stop a clock, but instead I said, "Madam, when I look at you, time stands still."
The Mark Twain impersonator did a wonderful job. Well, it is the next morning, and we are in my native state of Mississippi as the American Queen has arrived in Natchez. It was in these buildings up here that a young Jerry Lee Lewis, as a teenager, got his start performing in Natchez near the Mississippi, later would sign with Sun Records. And then a whole lot of shaking going on and great balls of fire. Natchez up on the bluff at one time had more millionaires per capita than any city in America than New York City because of the cotton boom just before the Civil War, and many of our travelers going to see the antebellum homes throughout Natchez. As we look at the American Queen here, the first steamboat to navigate the Mississippi was the New Orleans, and it docked here in Natchez in December of 1811, and thousands of people crowded those bluffs up there to get a look. Here is the old Blue Cat Club, where, as I mentioned, Jerry Lee Lewis performed professionally for the first time at age 13. Lewis was the Blue Cat Club's most popular entertainer in 1955 when he traveled to Memphis to audition for Sun Records. 2 years later, Jerry Lee Lewis, at the age of 22, had recorded Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On and Great Balls of Fire, each selling 1 million copies. Right down this way near the river is the Mark Twain Guest House, where you can stay for $85 a night. You see how the hill comes down? This area was known as Under the Hill. Once thieves, cutthroats, ladies of the night, and riverboat gamblers lurked in the shadows and trod the dusty streets. Up from the docks, where the great river packets were tied, they came. In these taverns they sought cheap whiskey, illicit love, or winning a hand at 5-car stud. Actually, those are the same things our Edgerton's travelers look for today. Oh, just kidding. Nowadays, there's wonderful places to eat and stay under the hill down from Natchez. Here on the bluff in Natchez. Oh, if you have a chance to do this American Queen Edgerton's group trip in the future, I encourage you to do so. Just contact your local Edgertons and say, when are you guys going to do your American Queen riverboat trip? To give you a little of my professional background, since leaving television news in 2005, I deliver inspirational keynotes and seminars, and in September of 2013, I was here in Natchez, here at the Convention Center, to deliver a 90-minute presentation at a conference on my book, How to Build a Positive Attitude and Keep the Darn Thing. Inside, back in September, it was right in that room, about 200 people heard the presentation. One of the great nightclub tragedies in U.S. history happened here in the year 1940. The Chicago jazz band Walter Barnes and his Royal Creolians performed here at the Rhythm Club in Natchez. The place was packed and owners locked the doors so no one could get in. They hung flammable Spanish moss and sprayed it with insect spray. A fire broke out and 209 African Americans died, including the band leader Walter Barnes. Since, blues performers have recorded songs such as The Natchez Burning and The Mighty Fire. Here in downtown Natchez, the Eola Hotel, the tallest building in the city, built in 1927. Whenever Edgerton's has their motorcoach trip, New Orleans and the Old South, travelers stay here. You can see it walking in, majestic. And at night, there are flames right here at the water. The hotel is named after the daughter of the man that built it. His daughter was Eola, and she died at the age of 16, and many feel her ghost is here. The lady there at the front desk told me that sometimes she'll be coming down these steps in a hurry, and young Eola, the ghost, feels she should walk like a lady, so she will tap her and guide her on her back. In the lobby, this flag draped the casket of U.S. Grant at his funeral. Here in Natchez, the St. Mary Basilica. Now we've got to go in Wilson Holder's Drug Company.
Somebody else. You know how it is.
Oh, I really know.
What you doing there?
Pouring seeds into this bag.
Okay, you're getting that?
Yep.
What kind of seeds you getting?
Cabbage, mustard, and turnips.
All right.
And then I can't remember what she put on it, and it would
Here you
get
see
the
some of the
colors.
things.
Okay. Well, most people put mothball back in the day.
I remember about some kind of.
Now here's a picture of a gator recently taken from the Mississippi River, 740 pounds. Sadly, one of our travelers, John Wilson of Goshen, who insisted on swimming each day in the Mississippi River, currently resides right there. Now at Rosalee, Natchez has more antebellum homes than any city in the U.S. Antebellum homes are homes built after the War of 1812 until the start of the Civil War, 1815 to 1861. Rosalee was the Union Army's Natchez area headquarters during the War of Northern Unpleasantness, as they call it here. Here's the old kitchen back during the plantation owners' days when they had slaves. When the owners would have the food made, and when the slaves were given the food in the kitchen to walk to the house, they had to whistle to make sure that they weren't sampling the foods. It's called the whistle walk to here.
Breakfast
Twin
there.
Oaks, the home of Regina Charbonneau.
And she also, it's a wedding destination. And on your,
Dunley.
it has 26 columns that go all the way
Dunley.
around the double-tiered gallery. It too is a wedding destination and a B&B.
Magnolia Hall, built in 1858 for $9,000. Stanton Hall, built by Frederick Stanton in 1858. Mahogany doors 2.5 inches thick. Natchez is so neat. Here's the Old South Trading Post where they have fun. Now look at here. Ma'am, who buys a lot of these?
We sell these to a lot of executives that put them in their offices to intimidate their clients and to intimidate their staff. And believe me, it works.
What a neat place. I'm back on the American Queen now, and what's neat about these Edgerton's group trips on the American Queen is when you get off, you can hop on one of those buses and hop on and hop off at all kinds of sites across each stop, and that is really neat. And we are getting ready to leave Natchez for Vicksburg, Mississippi.